Tell me about yourself. Young girl, did you know that this was what you're interested in? You're interested in writing, you're interested in creating. Did you know at a young age this is for you, or is it something you figured out later on?
I think I knew at a young age. I knew that I liked to make people laugh because, and that would be, I guess, the big family thing,
Yep.
wouldn't it?
Yes.
So I did very bad impressions, and would do them for my mum and dad, and I like to write, but I think I thought my path was acting and comedy acting specifically. That was what I was kind of drawn to, and gosh, it just took so long, and nothing was happening at all.
I know this about you, and it doesn't make sense to me that it took so long.
Yeah,
because
well,
the minute I saw you and saw your work, it just felt like, well, of course, this woman is a big deal. So the concept of you waiting around for any period of time and nobody seeing it seems kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think I was like 36 or something when I got Pulling, which was our first thing that Dennis Kelly and I wrote. But previous to that. But then I have to say, I think it was also my fault. I think I was just not very good at putting myself out there, or I've kind of done a bit of head work on it and thought, well, maybe I was sort of worried about failing or something, so that if I put myself out there and if I tried and I failed, then that's it. And at least if I kept putting it off and just like getting stoned or whatever,
right.
then maybe I could say, well, I haven't given it a proper go yet,
right, Right.
So possibly that.
Have you done therapy? Have you explored therapy?
I do it more now. Not so much.
Because Freud famously said the only people that are immune to therapy are the Irish.
Really?
Yeah. And I'd like to think he was wrong, because I've had a ton of it, but he just thinks that I think he just thought, those Irish, I can't crack them.
Do you know where that, did it just come from him getting a few bad gigs?
I don't know what it was. I don't know where it comes from. I may even be misquoting him, but I've often heard this quote that he said that, the Irish, therapy will work on anyone, not be Irish. And it kind of makes sense to me, because all my friends who went and saw Banshees of Inisherin and came away and said, oh my God, what madness, the throwing fingers at the door and the donkey dying, and just madness and this ridiculous spat over nothing. And I watched the movie and said, yeah, that adds up. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Sona, I know you're very busy.
Yeah.
You got twins.
Yes.
Twins who are over 2 now?
They're going to be 2 in July.
It's very easy to find yourself doing things for other people, or trying to be really productive and get a lot done and take care of everybody. I know you're a caretaking personality.
Yeah,
I am.
So are you.
And what happens sometimes is you realize I haven't checked in on myself. I have no clue how I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I bring this up because I'm a big believer in talk therapy. If you can find the right fit, right person, and getting help. It's made a huge difference in my life. And in some ways, I've been your therapist over the years.
You have been. You've been, and I think that you're a very easy person to talk to. I don't want to pay someone, so I figured if I could just talk to you, I'll just do it for free. But it is important to talk to someone.
If you're thinking of starting therapy, maybe give BetterHelp a try. Here's what I like about BetterHelp: it's entirely online. This didn't exist back in the day when I was maybe looking for someone to talk to, and it's such a smart way to get involved in this process. BetterHelp is designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Find more balance with BetterHelp. I really think this is a terrific idea. Visit betterhelp.com/Conan today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Conan. But yeah, it is interesting.
We had confession, I suppose.
Right.
You just go into a little box and say everything you did wrong. I mean, I think that's how I do therapy, really. I mean, I always assume I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, isn't it really just someone making you feel okay about your bad choices.
Yes. It is. You're paying someone to say,
I would say
plenty of people abandon their family and go on a 9-day cocaine binge in Las Vegas and then shoot up a hotel and then
kill a prostitute.
Yeah, exactly. Kill a prostitute.
But then in Ireland, they'd say, are you sorry? You'd say yes. And then you get some
6 Hail Marys
to say. And then you're all like, you got a clean slate.
Yeah. I haven't been to confession in a long time, but I remembered thinking, what metric are they using to figure out how many Hail Marys, how many?
I don't know.
And it was so specific. Like, well, I got this rental car and I scraped it up a bit, but then I covered it with whiteout. And they're like, oh, yeah, that would be 4 Our Fathers and 6 Hail Marys.
Yeah.
And then you'd say, oh, and on the way back, I ran into a whole bunch of people at a crosswalk and fled the scene. Okay, 7 Hail Marys.
Yeah.
At what point do they just call the police?
No, I mean, I haven't been to. I stopped confession quite young actually because it did freak me out.
It's scary.
I found it very scary, and I remember telling my mum that I found it scary, and she's very sweet about it because she's a pretty religious lady, and so I said, look, I'll keep going to mass, but I don't want to do the confession thing. I went to convent school. The Sacred Heart, and they would do big confession like galas where in our sports hall, like all priests from all around the area, and I don't know, maybe there was a couple of cardinals or they would fill the hall, and we would all they'd be all like situated at different spots, and you'd get into these big queues. All the students would be in the middle, and you get into these queues, and you'd be like, oh, which priest am I going to get?
And you'd make your way up, and then you would confess to them.
And then you would confess, and it was kind of felt a bit out in the open because you're not in a box like you normally are.
That's so insane. I mean, in this country, what you were describing is a pep rally. It's an event where people get together and go team, and maybe there's some punch or a prom, and you guys turned it into you queue up to talk to a priest about something terrible
about your
done.
Sins.
Yeah. But but drinks are served, I'm hoping.
Well, when you're little and you do it, you end up making them up. Like I would.
That's what I did.
Would lie.
I always
about
made them
my
up.
sins.
Yeah.
Because you're just a kid. I mean, you don't really do any bad shit when you're a kid. I mean, apart from, obviously there's some evil children out there.
Yeah.
But
no, but there's it's funny you say that because I distinctly remember making things up. And sometimes I got too creative, and I'd say, I forged a banknote, and they'd be like, well, I'm 8, I committed wire fraud. I would say things just to try and, that I had heard about that I didn't know.
Or you'd use things you'd read, like there was a pie cooling by the open window.
The year was 1932, and I stole a pie from a cooling window and then lived down by the train tracks and ate beans out of a can.